Good evening, friends. Welcome to Achieving Wellness. Welcome to EQ and Michael.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So Michael was initially invited, but was not able to make it. He didn't think, and then surprise, here he is. So thank you.
Surprise.
So what we're doing, just before we jump into this, let some people roll in. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. The month of February, last year we did positivity for the whole month. This year we're doing matters of the heart. So what do I mean by that? All things that fall under the umbrella of us achieving our overall happiness, right? Joy, unconditional love, spiritual alignment, awakening, all kinds of manner of things. And I thought that tonight we would start off with the thing that matters to my heart the most in this past year, which is a supportive relationship. And you all, my subscribers and my fellow content creators like EQ, are my support system. And you have made a difference in my heart. You have made me feel hope and peace and a sense of contentment. You have made me feel supported and inspired and motivated. And so it seemed like the perfect way for the month for Matters of the Heart to sort of kick off. And so with that being said, that's what's happening throughout the month of February. So make sure that you got your little bell ticked off so that you don't miss any of the content. Welcome EQ from Wisdom of the Blue Lotus and one half of the Soul Sisters, and Michael Dyer. Yay!
Yay. Thank you so much, Kelly, again, for having both of us on. I know Michael was on and then not on, and now he's on. So we're really grateful that he was able to make it.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And, I think the topic is perfect for this month, as, you alluded to, with it being February, which I always think, of course, our heart chakra and the love month with Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So great topic. Yes.
I consider it the love month as well. So that's just interesting that you said that. And I also know that February is a really difficult time for people. Like the winter blahs have really set in. We're over it. The weather, like here right now, it's minus 24 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is converted to Fahrenheit. It's just cold. With a whole bunch of asterisks before the word cold. And like I'm over it. It's been snowing for like 8 days straight. It feels like I feel like I live inside of a snow globe. And I get it. I live in Canada. We're supposed to have snow, but like already it's too much. So
wow. I feel I don't want to tell you what we had today. I mean, we had sunny and 60 degrees and
yes.
just like really nice outside and
You
like
poor thing. No.
No, I was just complaining about that.
I know what beautiful weather. You know, we had a little rain yesterday, just a couple hours, and so now everything is nice and beautiful and clear and yeah.
See, it's this point in the year that you can tell when you have a guest on with you where people live. Because I'm all in my sweatshirt and Niki's in her t-shirt. So
Yeah, basically.
yep, that's where you can tell where we live. Anyway,
Yeah.
so last year, Michael was kind enough to join us. Michael has created a set of cards, and I'm going to let him tell us about those cards, which will help everyone to understand why I wanted Michael to join us tonight. So, Michael, the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, okay, I'll take the floor. Thank you very much. Hey, everybody, sending you love, peace, and surrounding you with love and light. Yes, I created some cards called Authentic Connection. And the reason I did that is because being in a relationship, I realized that I didn't know the person. I made all these assumptions that who I thought they were instead of asking key questions like, what does love mean to you? You know, just questions about, are we able to work together to build our empire together? Or do you believe in that monogamy is natural? Or, I mean, just a lot of questions because I realized that people get into the relationship, right? And yet, one of the most important choices you would ever decision you make is your partner you pick in your life. I mean, it's up there. Your life partner is one of the biggest decisions you're gonna make in your life, and yet most of us don't know how to do it. No one, there's not a class. So I created these questions so that people can have what I call authentic connection, authentic conversation, that they get to have conversation that reveals who they are. So you know what you're getting. You know, I know for me, sometimes when you have an agenda, um, it's hard to be authentic. I
Yes.
always use this scenario when, like, for example, you've been thirsty for 40 days and you meet somebody who has something to quench that thirst, and you're going to say anything you need to say to that person.
Right.
You get the juice, you know what I mean? Because you're thirsty.
Yeah.
But when you go into a relationship, understanding the fact is that I'm full and I want to just show you who I am. And I think it's really great for somebody to just love you for who you are. Wouldn't it be nice for someone to just love you just the way you are?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be nice? I'm looking for that.
I actually am lucky and blessed that I do have someone that loves me for who I am most of the time. Except for when I get in one of those modes and I get told about it. But normally speaking, my husband loves me for who I am. But you're right that a lot of us don't know that. We either learn behaviors of what we think a relationship is supposed to be about. And this doesn't have to be romantic. It can be a platonic relationship, but from our own environment or from our parents. And if we think that is what is normal, then that is what we sort of move towards. That is what we learn to accept. And many of us, unfortunately, and quite sadly, don't feel that we are worthy, to say, you know what, I don't really like that. I don't really like what you just said to me, for fear of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really sad.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know what I find? I find that the world we grew up in, it doesn't allow for people to be authentic. It doesn't allow for you to make mistakes.
Yes.
So if I live in a world where I'm afraid to make mistakes, then therefore I'm afraid to show who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of us, we don't feel safe being authentic.
Right.
I know for me, a lot of times I didn't feel comfortable being authentic. Well, because I want people approval, I want love.
Yeah.
And if I just showed up with my, looking my worst, maybe they won't like me. So
Oh yeah. Well, to that point, I mean, my husband will say things like this. I use this plant often. This is a prop for me, which, it really isn't. But I can't have plants because my cats will eat them. But anyhow, so this is my fake plant that I have here on my desk. And I often say that I wake up looking like this is my hair. And my husband will be like, like, let's go out, let's go to the store or whatever. And I'd be like, really? Look at me. And he's like, you look fine, dear. I'm like, we have mirrors in the house. Don't lie to me. I mean, we're at that point in our relationship that I can say that, right? I mean, I know what I look like. But to my point, to Michael's point, is he doesn't see any flaws. I see those flaws. I deem them as flaws. And so that is work that I need to continue to do, to see myself through his eyes rather than my own eyes. Because if I seen myself through his eyes, perhaps I would see a better version of myself, right? I wouldn't be so quick to pick apart myself, right?
Yeah. But Kelly, the beautiful thing that you just said, it's you can now acknowledge, since you can acknowledge that, now you can change that.
Absolutely.
It's most people who aren't ready to acknowledge that.
Yes.
That's where my heart kind of goes to those people. But they also, we're on this earth to learn and grow, and partnerships are our greatest levels of learning, because that's where you and that individual, whether you're married or have a lifelong partner, doesn't really matter, but you and that individual will mirror each other. They're going to teach you things and you're going to teach them things. So that's a spiritual relationship that you're also creating. Right?
Yeah.
And that's
Genealogy Junkie says, my husband used to call me Wonder Woman. He said it was because he wondered about me. I love it.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's funny.
That is cute. That is cute. And the other thing too, and when you meet somebody and you think you have this instant connection, but you may do or you may not. But what's funny is, with most people who are not aware, they bring their representatives. So you never get to really know that person, because, every hair is right. You're looking really nice and cute. And then the guy, he's trying to look laid back, or, the same sex relationship, doesn't matter. Everybody's going to come with their representative instead of being authentic. And one thing about what I like with Michael's cards is that's how you can, if you don't know how to bring your authentic self and not your representative, buy his cards. That'll be coming out in a couple of years too. You have his own cards collection, but the cards, and with the cards, if you don't know how to say certain things, but you really want to learn somebody, and it's a new relationship, buy these, because that way you can have fun and make it into this big game.
Absolutely.
And yet you're bringing your authentic self, because you're going to answer honestly. You have to answer honestly.
Yeah.
So I love about the cards, and
his cards are great conversation starters. I feel, and so it's I never thought about it in that particular instance, but you're absolutely right. It's a great way to get to know people. So let's say you're off to college for the first time, right? Or your kiddos are off to college for the first time. You buy them a set of these cards, and it's a great way for them to get to know their roommates, right? Or the people that are living in their dorms. These people are going to be living together in a very unconventional way, meaning that they don't know each other. And before you know it, it's like, boom, now we're here for like the next year, right?
Yeah.
You want to know things about people other than just sort of sitting back and judging people on what you see, right? You want to get to know what's behind the scenes of the person. I think it's really important.
Agreed. And that's where these would come in to help. And it's not just about, like you just pointed out, it's not just about romantic relationships. It's any relationships. So, with the college students, what you mentioned, it could just be platonic friends. You just want to get to know each other. It could be business partners,
Absolutely. I was literally thinking, like, in the office, in one particular job that I had, I worked there for about 12 years, 15 years. And I was there for a little bit, and then someone was retiring, and the powers that be came to me and said, we think that you could do their job. And I was like, really? Because I have no experience. But I mean, who am I to argue with you if you think I can do it? If it comes with a raise, I'm in.
All right.
And the person, so then I became part of a team, and that woman, she did not like me. I mean, and that's putting it mildly. Like, I literally think she hated me. It got so bad that if she even said my name, the hairs on the back of my neck would literally stand up.
Oh, wow.
Right? She only ever spoke to the back of my head, and oftentimes she wouldn't call my name. She would just like tap her fingernails on her chair, and it was like, it's like nails going down a chalkboard. But like, that's how tense the situation got.
Yeah.
And it was like that for 10 years. And one day I just hit my ceiling. I turned around and I let her have it with everything that I had stored up for my whole entire life to that point in time. And then I got in trouble.
You got in trouble.
I got in trouble.
Yeah.
I got in trouble because I played into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost my cool, and I never tried to work with it. I never tried to understand it. I just was defensive to it and felt attacked.
Yeah.
And so if I had have had someone like Michael, or cards like Michael's, where I could have asked myself important questions about, why am I reacting that way? Why do I feel that way? Maybe I could have done some work as to being more proactive rather than reactive in that situation, because I think it tells a lot about yourself as to why you react a certain way,
right.
or why you know what I mean?
But it goes back to the comment that I said about relationships, that whether it's romantic relationships, co-worker relationships, any kind of relationship, people are mirroring. You guys are mirroring each other. So what she did for you, she was showing you aspects of yourself that need to be healed. Yeah. Because she kept getting on your nerves and disrespecting you. But there was some aspect in you that needed to be healed.
Yeah. 100%.
And then you got it after 10 years, and you just went off on it.
I'm a slow learner, friends.
Oh, wow.
I'm a slow learner. It took me 10 years. I got it.
That's okay. The fact is that you got it, and so that's one of the things that we need to look at in all of our relationships. If we find someone that's like getting on your nerves, and what I do a lot of times is, like, I'll give you a good example. Just yesterday, I had a client, and for whatever reason, it's like she wasn't listening to me. And I kept trying to tell her and educate her, right? And then she would come back and ask me questions that I just told her about what to do. And I was like, I'm like doing this to the phone, like, and then I had to say, EQ, stop. Wait a minute. Yeah. You don't know what's going on in her life. You don't know what's happening with her. Just calm yourself down. It's not your issue. Just be patient with her. And when I changed my energy, she changed. Yeah. 100%. You see, and so that's what it's all about when you're dealing in those types of situations. Don't necessarily look at the other person. You got to look at you and what you're putting out. Yeah.
See, I walk away from most situations. So not to make this about me, but to make my point. This has been a lifelong issue that I have had about fear of not being like accepted or not belonging, right? And it's not so much caring about what people think, because I really don't care about, Joe Schmo on the street. But if it's like my mom or my sister or, like my friend, then I care what you think, because you're important to me. So I don't want to ever cause you upset. But I mean, if you're just, being a, witch about it, then like that's your issue. I mean, I can navigate that. But I would like throw myself in front of traffic to avoid disappointing the people that mattered to me to a really, really detrimental sort of way in my life. And it's been a lifelong challenge. And it was only until I had some past life readings.
I was getting ready to say that to you. I was waiting for you to finish. I was going to say, Kelly, I'm sensing right now what this is for you. This is a past life, particularly.
Yep. So I had a couple of past life readings, and it turned out that this is something that I've sort of brought forward.
Yeah.
And two things that happened in that moment. One, I felt a sense of relief that I was no longer like there was something wrong with me. Like I wasn't reading the fine print. It's not me. I just didn't get it. You know what I mean? I sort of was like, I felt relaxed a little bit about it, if that makes sense. And actually then felt like I have the power to change it now.
Correct.
Because now I understand it a little bit better than just, I'm just a hopeless person kind of idea. And so the whole point where I was going with that is the thought-provoking ability of Michael's cards in terms of helping you be your best self, therefore helps you to attract the best people, like to make a good match to you, no matter what type of relationship. I mean, you live in an apartment and you rent. Your landlord or the superintendent is a relationship that you have to have, not every day, but you'll see them in the hallway, or when you're going to get the mail, or when you have possibly an issue with something in your apartment. You need to know how to navigate relationships, right? People that at your local grocery store, if it's the same person that drives the bus every day that you get on, you see them every day. The person that works in a cafeteria or a restaurant where you get your coffee every morning. These are relationships, and you need to know how to navigate them for two reasons, I think. Probably more than two, but the most important two that I can think of is one, for your self-esteem. So that you know that you're, that you're being kind and considerate and compassionate towards another human being. And also, it lifts your vibration. I don't know about you all, but now you all know that I don't leave the house, although I'm working on it, friends. Yay, Kelly. A side note. But when I used to go to the store, there was nothing that pleased me more than standing in the lineup or the checkout or the queue or whatever you want to call it at the store, and some virtual stranger turns around and be like, oh, did you see that lady over there? Or oh, did you read that something about so-and-so star on the tabloid? I mean, nothing made me happier than to start a conversation with someone like that, just randomly. You know what I mean? Or you're sitting on the bus because in that moment, two virtual strangers sort of came together and were smiling and laughing, and everyone else was involved, even though they weren't involved. You know what I mean? It was just one of those beautiful moments that kind of happens that we don't even give a whole lot of credit to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. We shouldn't discount that.
Yeah, exactly.
And if some stranger in the mall can pick up on your good energy and your good vibe, you got nothing to worry about. That means that you're a really great person. If some stranger is hey, blah, 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 so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So actually, you know what, Kelly, as you were talking, a couple things kind of popped in my mind. And the first thing I want to say is we attract two things. We attract what we most fear.
Yes.
And we attract what we most love.
Yeah. So
when it comes to, situations that might be negative, that's because there's some sort of fear in you. There's some sort of something that's trying to have you to heal that within yourself.
Yeah.
So it's also where I'll give you a good example. I know this is a past life issue. I know who I was in a couple of past lives I've had. I literally looked up. I have the person's name. I have everything that happened to them.
Wow.
And we actually kind of look alike. I was a German man in Germany before World War II. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. And I know it sounds crazy, guys, but
Listen, I was a prostitute, so
okay. So I have flown my entire life. Okay, I fly internationally, multiple times. I just do, but for whatever reason, I get on a plane and I have this fear. And it took me a minute to understand it. And I would have visions of like this big explosion and, and all of this stuff. So in a past life reading I had, that's where I discovered I was on this plane, and well, it wasn't a plane at the time. It was the Hindenburg. Anyways, and I had to say, wait a minute. I'm fearing this, and I don't want to create this, right? Because I'm attracting that, because I'm putting that fear out. I had to stop and say, wait, I know I have an anxiety with this, but this is not my anxiety. I know it's coming elsewhere, but I have to deal with it.
That's
right.
So
I started on a journey of dealing with what happened to me in a past life, and to heal that aspect, and to know that was that life. This is this life. This is my life. And in doing the work, so now when I get on a plane, sometimes it comes up, the anxiety, but I talk myself through it and say, this is not my energy. This is not me. I am protected. I am fine. And I'll put love and light around the plane and the pilots and everybody else, and I calm myself down. And so that's how I get through it, by doing that when I'm facing fear. Okay. Fear of something, whether I know what that fear comes from or not. Still, I'm addressing it and knowing I don't want to attract what I'm fearing. Mm-hmm. Now, on the flip side of that, when it comes to love, or even like when I meet people, they are some of the most nice, sweet, loving, kind, gentle. That's because that's what I try to not try, but that's aspects of me that I'm seeing mirrored back to me. So those are the attractions. So those are the two things. Now, the other thing I want to say is, when we talk about when people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
And we have to understand those three and what that means in our lives. When I was married, I realized that marriage, and we're still great friends today. He's remarried and everything. But I realized that our marriage was not for a lifetime. It was a reason.
Right.
And I get it.
Yeah.
And so I can accept that when we were going through the divorcing process, which was heavy and painful and all of that, but I had to go deeper and just say, I know there was a reason for us to be together, and I have to look at those aspects. Yeah. So when we're talking about supportive relationships, be supportive with yourself.
Yes.
You got to start with you first.
Yeah.
You got to deal with that. Yeah. And then that way it makes it easier when you're dealing and bringing other people into your space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Meghan Markle has a really great quote. I'm not going to do it verbatim, obviously, because I can't remember. But it goes something like this, think of how well you treat your best friend, and then ask yourself why you don't deserve that same treatment. Mm-hmm. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's not deep, but it's totally deep, because it literally makes you stop and think, yeah, how come I don't do that?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Spirit Beyond Stars, for getting the cards.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
I know, right? I'm so on board with you guys are saying right now about the fact is, but about relationship with yourself, but no one teaches us how to do that.
No, they don't.
It's like a muscle. I mean, it's so easy for me to love someone else, to share with someone else, to be forgiving to someone else. I'm much harder on myself, and I can't. And I don't always understand why am I so hard on myself.
I think that that all of us. It's an excellent point that you bring up. I think that most of us are hard on ourselves because of learned behaviors, because no one. Okay, listen. I know this is an odd thing to say, but when someone passes away, all you ever hear is what an awesome human being they were, how fantastic, and they were so, nobody ever says anything negative, which is rightful, right? I'm going somewhere with this. The point that I'm trying to make is, you know, could we have celebrated that person a little bit more while they were actually living instead of when they have passed on, right? But
Right.
we do that to soothe ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have to say all these awesome things. We can't be real about it, about maybe something that they may have done that wasn't so great, because that would seem like, oh, I mean, how could you? That's awful. I mean, they passed. So my point is this: as we grow up, our instinct is to only focus on negative stuff, right? And learned behaviors, your home life. Great, you got an A on the test. That was awesome. But on 6 other tests that you did this week, you got 90%. So get back to your room and do your homework. I mean, that's what our reality is, right? And so we focus on that negative stuff, and that inner critic that we have is like the shoe salesman from hell that just will not ever stop. You know, the minute you go in the shoe store, oh, are you busy? Do you need anything? Can I help you? And you're like, oh my God, go find me a boot in size 407 just to make them go away so you can, browse around the store. The point that I'm trying to make is, I think that we focus on the negative because that's what we're taught to do.
I agree. But how do we? The thing about it, I think we all need to know is that how do we change that conversation? How do we change it? Because we know we all agree that for me, I never loved myself growing up. I've always would seek outside of myself for someone else to do that job.
Yeah,
I would always. That was my programming, to seek approval and love out there. There were no classes. No one else told me, well, how do I love myself? Matter of fact, people made you feel ashamed to love yourself. Oh, you're so selfish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, women get that a lot.
That program of looking outside of myself gave people opportunity to control me. Because if I'm looking for you to love me, now I'm going to do what you tell me to do and seek for your approval. Now I become the person who get manipulated, or if I can manipulate someone else. So I've been like right now, I'm working on, a book on how to do that. I work with young people, teenagers. And the thing what I'm teaching them now is that we have to first change our inner dialogue.
Yeah.
What are you saying to yourself? No one needs to hear you say it, but sometimes you say something, you know what? Damn, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if you can't do it, then you can imagine someone saying to you, Michael, you are an amazing communicator. And then I say to myself, yeah, thank you. Some people say, well, maybe you're lying to yourself. The lie is a negative.
Yes.
I mean, so what's the truth? So my thing is that, and this is the thing that I want everyone to do, and I've been doing, is looking in the mirror and saying to that person in the mirror, I love you just the way you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that reflection said to me, you a damn lie. Look at you. You don't have this. You don't have that. And I said again, I love you just the way you are. No, you don't. Look how you grew up. I love you just the way. It was a battle. It was a freaking battle to just convince myself that I love you just the way you are. And now I'm looking for someone else to do it. I'm looking for someone else to love me when I don't do it, when I'm not committed to loving me.
Yeah.
You think about, situations where people hurt themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at situations where people love themselves. How do you love yourself?
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you love yourself? And this is a real question. Please tell me, what do you do? How do you love and support yourself? Not say, no, don't go with the food. I take a bath. Yeah. But what do you do that extra stuff? Like, do you buy yourself flowers? Take yourself on a nice walk? And take your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Right. What do you do? Go ahead. You want to jump in?
No, I was just going to say, what, in addition to what you're saying, it's about taking care of mind, body, and soul. It's because we're multidimensional. So it's all of those things, taking the time out to alleviate stress from yourself, to meditate, to relax, do some of the favorite things you like to do. Also watch I love comedies because I just laugh. And then that also helps to get stress out of yourself.
Yeah.
So there's various things you can do. And then physically, okay, go out, like you said, treat yourself to something nice. buy yourself flowers, whatever it is, and how are you connecting spiritually? What about your spiritual self? What are you doing
Yes.
for that?
Yeah.
So this
Exercise is a great way.
exercise, yeah,
Yeah. Exercise
yoga,
is great.
Pilates, just walking. Sometimes just walking,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Speaking of
house
the
or around
walking,
the block.
um, that's a great point that you make about the walking. And so I want to throw this in, because if you're sitting there and you're like, well, it's easy for you guys to say all these things, try doing them. So if you're someone who has battled with body image issues, or if you have battled with abusive relationships, or if you have just been on a path of self-sabotage, or maybe you were suffering from, it's going to make me cry, maybe you were suffering from anxiety panic disorder like I did, and you didn't leave the house, and all of a sudden one day you decided to start walking, and you took yourself to the school parking lot. You all know this story, and you sit there and you watch all the people living their best life, and you're sitting in your car and you are willing yourself to move. Just get out of the car. And then you get out of the car and you walk from one soccer goalpost to the other soccer goalpost. And you're like, oh my God, breathing heavy, but I did it. And then you go back to the other soccer goalpost, and then you take a video of yourself going from soccer goalpost to soccer goalpost, and you send it to all the people that you love the most, the people that you know are going to be your cheerleaders. And then you go back to that spot every day, and you keep walking. And when you're walking, you're talking. And now I'm literally yelling, thinking someone's going to probably call the police on me because I look like a crazy person. But what I'm doing is saying, thank God, for whatever reason, that moment in that day, that light switch just went on, and I was like, get out, just get out of the car. And I did it. And I ended up doing that for 2 years straight. And it literally changed my life.
Yes. Kudos.
Because I was out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was free.
Yeah.
The other thing that I was going to also say, for me specifically, is mirror work. Mirror work taught me that who I am is okay. Mm-hmm. You all in the chat, my chat buddies, sorry, I'm getting really emotional. The chat buddies taught me that I am okay just as I am, right? You all lifted me up when I was broken, when I first arrived in this community, and showed me that who I am is completely good enough.
Yes.
There was no judgment. There was no prerequisite qualities that I needed to have. I just said hi, and you said hi back. Mm-hmm. And you literally let me know in that moment that it was okay to just be me. Yeah. Right?
Kelly, that is so powerful. You just given this testimony. Kudos to you for doing it and having the courage to actually discuss it and put it out there, because I know that your story will help other people who are in the same situation that you were in. And when you were saying, how do we do that? When you feel like you can't move, you can't do this. And in my mind, I kept hearing, you just do it. Just do it. Just do it. What does Nike say? The Nike logo?
Yeah, just do it.
And that's what you did. You took that step. And even, I will say this, even if you did not get out of the car at the moment when you did, the fact that you left what you were used to and comfortable with, and you left to get in the car and you drove somewhere, even if you sat in that car, I would have still said kudos to you.
Oh, no, 100%. 100%.
Baby steps. It's okay, right? It's like if we're driving, this was in The Secret. If you guys remember the movie, if you're driving from, say, New York to Los Angeles, right? It's a pathway. It's a journey.
Yes.
It's what, as they say, one headlight at a time. The lights turn on and you just go with it. And now you're in another state. Okay. Now another state, and then another state. It's stepping stones. And that's what you want to do. So absolutely. don't for those of you that feel like you can't do a certain thing, first change your thinking as best you can, and just say, as you said, talk in the mirror, do different exercises to say, yes, I will. Today, I might not be able to go walking outside to the soccer field and from pole to pole, but what I will do is I'm going to get up, I'm going to walk outside my front door.
Yeah.
That's a success.
Yeah.
And then
every step is a step.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
The journey, just you're going to get there, you know? And that's what it's about. Not having to go from A to Z. No. And Michael can say with, you know, him being an actor, in which I used to be an actress, you know, but anyways, which I might get back into. He's been having.
Well, I think that you should, because I mean, I just think you're beautiful. But anyways,
but, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. So what I was going to say though is I lost my train of thought when you said that. What was I going to say? What was I talking about?
Well, you said my acting.
No, before acting. And I had a point to make about what you had just said, Kelly, and it'll probably come back. It'll come back to me.
It'll come back while you thinking. I have this thing that I want you guys to do with me. People.
Yes, let's do an exercise.
I want you to put your hands on your heart if you can, and I want you to begin to, because I think it's honoring oneself. First, I have to say to myself, I love myself for being honest with myself. I accept myself for wanting to be loved. I accept myself for the fact is that maybe sometimes I don't feel like I'm loved. I forgive myself for thinking that I'm not good enough. I forgive myself thinking that I don't deserve love. The truth is I do deserve love. The truth is that I am lovable. The truth is there's no one in the world like me. The truth is that there will never, ever be anybody like me. I am more precious than a diamond. I'm rare. That's the truth. I forgive myself thinking that I need to fit in. I forgive myself thinking that I need to seek approval outside of myself. The truth is that I've already been approved of by the creator of the universe. That's the truth. And this is an exercise that I want to invite everyone to do, because this is something we don't do. And I want you to teach your children to do it. Forgiving yourself for the things the way you perceive yourself, and then knowing the truth. The truth is that this is the only moment I have right now, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to breathe in this moment, because this is all I got. We only get so many trips around the sun,
right,
before we leave. We all get these journey around the sun. We're traveling right now together around the sun, and we all get so many. But then once the time is up, we leave. So in the meantime, let's forgive ourselves. Let's love on ourselves, and it's going to be inner dialogue. That's where it's going to start. You know, like you said earlier, the people out there are only letting you know if they're rejecting you because somewhere you're rejecting yourself. If they don't trust you, somewhere you don't trust yourself.
Yes.
Look at them as a mirror instead of trying to change the mirror. So let me change this. Let me hug myself. Let me give myself a kiss. Good job, Michael. And it may feel fake because the program is to look outside yourself. That's the work.
Yeah.
I'm going to say fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
So even if you don't feel it, just keep doing it. Keep saying it. And it will switch and change.
Yeah.
And thanks, Anna. Anna, you're right. I was talking about instead of going from A to Z, you want to take those steps, those baby steps, A to B, B to C, C to D, and look at it that way. And eventually, guess what? You're going to get to Z. You'll get there, you know, and just have patience with yourself in that process. So
I say all the time that like a step is a step. Right.
You have any examples?
And we need to focus on the fact and celebrate the fact that we took a step.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever forget to celebrate that you took the step. And I just want to say one real quick thing. And then I want Michael to pull some cards for us so that we can like sort of show you how the cards work and how they can create a conversation. What I was talking about, what EQ was mentioning before, and also what Michael was mentioning, you know, what Michael just did there is a great exercise, the self-soothing that you can do when you get heavy on yourself, when you get down on yourself, that because you're not working on this imaginary timeline that you've given yourself, that you should have succeeded in something. You should have completed something by, like, I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 months kind of idea, right? You put that stipulation on yourself. No one else did that. So if you take out the 2-month part and just say that I would like to incorporate more physical activity into my life, all of a sudden it doesn't seem like you're setting yourself up for failure. Yeah. And when you feel like you have slid downwards or backwards, whatever words you want to put on it, that's when you do that self-soothing that Michael just showed us, where you put your hands over your heart and you tell yourself it's okay. I am good enough, right? And that's how you sort of counteract those negative emotions and those negative feelings and those negative reactions by self-soothing yourself and reminding yourself of your awesomeness. My mother used to say, pull out your resume and sell yourself like you were interviewing for your best job, because we often forget all the awesome things that we have done and accomplished. We only ever focus on the negative things.
Yeah.
Remember that everyone's journey is different. And so we often say, and you all know that this is a trigger for me. Well, everybody, it's a choice to be happy. Yes, it is. Ultimately, it is a choice to be happy. But you got to be ready to understand that you have the control to change. And until you're ready, this is when these exercises that Michael is the self-soothing and what EQ is saying about, loving yourself up and taking it one step at a time, A to B and B to C and so on and so forth. That's when those things are so important, because otherwise you just think you're a complete failure. And then the self-sabotage sets in and you have literally failed before you've even started. So please don't do any of those things there. All right. Pull us some cards, Michael. Sorry.
All right.
Get off my soapbox.
All right. So I want everybody to answer this question.
Okay.
Here it is. You ready? Name a reason why someone will want to be in a relationship with you. Go. It's everywhere. Write it down. You can answer it. EQ.
Put it in the chat.
Chat, yeah.
Okay.
Name a reason.
That'd be fun.
Name a reason someone would want to be in a relationship with you.
Look, I mean,
let's talk about it real quick.
I'm awesome. So
I was about to say, because I'm awesome. I'm awesome.
One reason I think someone would want to be in a relationship with me, because I'm always seeing their highest potential. That's my commitment, is seeing the best in things. So if you're with me, my thing is seeing the best, seeing your highest good. Even when you can't see it, I hold that for you.
Yeah.
And the reason
I'm an excellent cheerleader. I which is funny that I was a cheerleader, but I mean, I usually will be the person that will lift you up in the moment when you feel like so totally down. It physically hurts my heart to see anyone beat themselves up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love these answers here.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm loyal.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I listen, I have empathy, and I put out positive energy. I'm loving.
I'm super caring.
I'm super caring.
I love it.
Yeah.
This exercise is not only good for somebody you're seeing, but also it's good for you to know that. Mm-hmm. That this is what I bring to a relationship. Also, this is what I bring to a relationship with myself, because sometimes you got to watch what you say. I'm loving, but then am I loving on myself? I listen, but do I listen to my inner guidance? Do I listen to my intuition? So what happens, this reveals not only about the other person, but it reveals, okay, if I'm so supported, seeing my highest good, because sometimes I can't see my highest good, you know what I mean? But I can easily do it for others. So what I'm being invited to do is start seeing my own highest good.
Yeah.
These are good answers.
And I think that the thing that what we're talking about here is supporting ourselves. And I mean, I don't know about you all, but like that's the most important relationship, is my relationship with myself. Right?
Kelly, you just reminded me of, like when you're on a plane and then the flight attendants are going over, all of the safety stuff, and they say, okay, if we lose cabin pressure, we want you to put your mask on first, then do it with your child or whoever, that you might be with,
Right.
that needs help. And that goes right back to what you just said. It starts with self first.
Yeah.
That's where we go wrong.
Yeah.
So we got to start with us first and give us that self-love and respect and all of the things that your honesty and your lovingness and being a good listener and all of those things within you.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, here's another one. Everybody get ready. When you say I love you, what does that mean you're going to do for that person? When you say I love you, what does that mean you're going to do for that other person? Go.
The first thing that popped in my head was self-respect. Respect. I love you. I'm going to respect you. I'm going to listen and honor what you have to say, whether I like it or not. You know, and that goes into to me the other question too. Everything that everybody just said, I love you because I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna respect you. I'm going to, be honest with you. I'm going to communicate. To me, that's what that means.
Yeah. See, now when you say that, to me, it makes me think of, honestly, it makes me think of my wedding vows, and it makes me think of sort of standing in a moment, declaring myself that to another, you know what I mean? That I'm going to be open to whatever that person and I share. That we're gonna be like partners in it, and I don't know if I'm articulating that well, but that's what that makes me think of.
Something that JR just said really touched my heart. They said protect them.
Yeah.
That's a huge commitment. I'm going to protect them. I'm gonna protect you. Emotionally, physically. You know what I mean? I'm gonna protect you. That's who. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone like that?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah. I'll let you be you.
I like that.
I love that too. Let you be you. Woo.
That. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, my husband clearly thought that because he wants to go to the store with this. So he'd say anything to get me out of the house, though. So
somebody said, "Be there through the good and the bad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be loyal and thoughtful. I love it.
Even one more that we.
Yeah. Here's one more. What kind of support do you expect from someone you're dating?
Sorry, I'll make you a toasted cheese sandwich with love.
Oh, no doubt.
That's
That's cute. Great sense of humor. All right, here's another one. What kind of support do you expect from someone you're dating? What kind of support do you expect from someone you're dating?
I don't know that I have an expectation of support. I want them to.
So you expect nothing?
Well, no. I don't have an expectation. I want them to sort of show me what they've got, what they're capable of. So I'm not going to sort of walk into it with a preconceived notion of what I think that they should. Like, there's no list, no checklist. You know what I mean? You show me who you are by the way that you are. Do you know what I mean? And so I don't go in there with any preconceived notions, but I'm watching. I'm like writing notes, I'm like snapshots while watching everything. I do this thing where, and I've tried to explain this before. I do this thing where I can literally like sort of remove myself from a situation and watch it from a totally different perspective than being in it. And I'm just being honest. I know me. So in that moment, that's what I would do. I would like remove myself and watch the person to make sure that they were being honest and authentic, I guess, with me, which is a whole long answer. Okay. Hi, Ocean Garnett. Spirit Beyond the Star says, treat them like I would want to be treated. Awesome.
Yeah. I like that. And respect. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too. I feel that I expect people to treat me like they want to be treated. If you're gonna ask me to do something, that means you're willing to do the same thing.
Yeah.
don't ask me or treat me one way and then double standards. No, I expect for you to
I love this. I
you know what I
love
mean?
this. I'd expect them to be interested in my life and to care about me. If those things aren't happening, I'd stop dating.
Beautiful. Love you. That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There's some clarity here. I love this. I love this wisdom.
I think that's great.
Thank you.
You got one more for us, Michael?
That's it for now. Unless you got one. No. No, that's
No,
it.
I know we're getting close to the hour.
Yeah.
Kelly, did you want us to? I know we had thought about maybe pulling out some cards and maybe doing a. Do you want to do like a?
Like a
If
message?
anybody wants that, we can just pull like one card, one romance card for them, or what would you want to do next?
Here's what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask if anyone in the chat had like a quick question for Michael or for EQ or just in general on this topic. And I want us to pull like a couple of cards for a collective message for everyone when we're just before we're done. I just want to say to you and to Michael, thank you for having this conversation, because you can't do these kinds of conversations unless you're ready to be honest, right? And it's hard to sit up here on the screen and be honest about some of the things that we discuss here at Dozen Cats. And so I appreciate very much that you showed up. And I don't mean like you showed up tonight. I just mean that you showed up. You know what I mean? You were ready to discuss. And if you're interested in purchasing Michael's cards, I did put the link in the chat, and I will add it to the description box below the video before I post it. They're awesome conversation starters, thought-provoking. It's a great way to get to know people, if you know what I'm saying. Like, a little bit of a test kind of thing. Like, oh, you want to date me? Here, answer some of these. No,
right, and also get to know yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And I was being funny, but mostly it's the conversation with yourself that, like, check in with yourself. That's okay. Why can't you check in with your own self and see how you're doing? Right? How you're feeling about a certain thing. Like, why do I always want to wear blue, for example? Maybe I could expand and wear some yellow or some green or some purple polka dot or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, check in with yourself. It's okay. Michael, I have a question for you. And the last time that you were here, you shared a very powerful poem with us. Are you able to share that again with us? Or
okay, let me see. I think I can. Let me try it.
Put you on the spot, but
that's fine. I can do some of it. This poem is about finding love and losing love, and it goes a little like this. Like a leaf falling from a tree, I fell to my knees. I knew she was the one for me. 1,000 years of loneliness, her lips I would kiss, her hand I would hold. I longed to see her face and to experience her embrace, to feel a voice upon my ear. For it has been 1,000 years with no love in sight. See, she would be the one to turn my cold nights to warm summer days. With sprinkles of heaven on her wings, well, we would fly away together in this liquid yellow, blue, and purple light. But I'm sad to say that day will never come my way, for she turned her light away from me. She said my love was too strong, for I did not know her long. She said that I moved too fast, therefore the love could never last. But I couldn't help myself. I could not hold back the feelings inside, the words I could not hide. They just flowed from my lips like a great ocean tide. So like a leaf falling from a tree, I fell to my knees. I knew our love would never be. The end.
Oh, that was awesome.
Thank you.
That was really
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
And I do apologize for putting you on the spot, but I
No,
remember.
it's all good. Thank you for putting me on the spot. Give me
I
outside my
remember
comfort
when
zone.
you were here before, and you gave that. It was so powerful.
Thank you.
JR says that they remember the last time that you were here.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you, Ocean.
see that? So you made an impact. There's a
Yeah.
lot in that poem that Michael just shared with us about supporting yourself and being supported. And I think that, EQ and I are going to throw a couple cards here, but just sort of like a overall for the collective. But I want you to really think about this tonight, like when you journal, before you go to sleep. How can you support yourself more in an effort that you can then be more supportive to others, right? And I want you to know that from me to you, to the people in the chat that are listening to this, to anyone who has ever come here and given me a thumbs up, to all the subscribers, and I'm sure that EQ feels the same way, you all make such a difference to not only the channels but to the people in the chat that you meet. And I say this, like I said before, because you made it okay for me to be me, and you made it okay for me to share.
Yeah.
You made it so that I felt that it was okay for me to start a channel and sit here in front of you and talk to you. And you literally changed my life by saying hello. So don't ever stop doing what you're doing, because you never know what someone needs, and you open the door by saying hello, right? You make it okay. All right.
Yeah, definitely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Michael to pick a card, and then we'll see what that. Oh, look at that. There's a card.
Whoa. Gotta love it when they fly out.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go.
Okay. Oh my gosh. This is so on point. Spirit is so awesome. So this is the card that we picked for the collective on our subject matter, trust.
Beautiful.
You have a strong connection to your soul's loving voice and have faith in your intuition. Isn't that something? It goes back into everything that we talked about honoring yourself, trusting yourself, going within with you, because everything always starts with you. Absolutely. So it's about, and once you can trust yourself, you can start to trust other people. And if you get a sense that someone is not being honest with you, trust again your intuition, because there's something probably there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I got this lovely postcard from Spirit, and I'm not sure what the image is on the front, but we'll just go with it. So here is my card. And this like shot out when I was shuffling. Dear you, check in occasionally with yourself about your motives behind actions you plan on taking, especially when you have an end game in mind. Is the source of your motivation desire or entitlement? Maybe you're drawn to a certain path because you think it will bring you a feeling related to the outcome that you seek, like safety or wholeness. Know that you will see a reflection in the outer world of the motive that drives you forward. Do you need a motive? Can you simply be pulled in the direction your soul calls you toward joy, discovery, growth, or adventure, participating in something compelling and meaningful without trying to define it? If you can step forward, surrender to whatever spirit has in store for you, you will be amazed at how things turn out. Check your motives, then hand them over to spirit. Everybody here wants the best for you. Life loves you more than you know.
That's so sweet.
Beautiful.
So to me, that's like the motives of the negative sort of attack that you might do on yourself. You know, when you are judging your own self, thinking that you are not doing enough. Like, that person doesn't like me because I must have done something to make them not like me. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Let go of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're a phenomenal person. And if that to other, you know what they say about other people's opinions?
None of your business.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right. They're none of your business.
Mhm.
I just think that that's awesome. So, again, this is Michael Dyer. Find his cards on Etsy. He also has a book on Amazon, which I will try to find the link for that and stick it into the chat or in the description box of the video. This is EQ from Wisdom of the Blue Lotus and one half of the Soul Sisters. EQ, what is happening for you, honey?
Oh, can I? Yeah, I want to mention something because we are into, February, which is all about Valentine's Day, and I thank you guys so much for those that have posted my website. I do sell all of my products. I have a brand called Crystals Galore for You and Goodies Galore for You. Mainly Crystals Galore is where I'm focusing all the products, and I do sell on Amazon. And I've got several different products for Valentine's. So please take a look. You can actually go to my channel, and I actually did videos of each of the products with an actual like commercial thing that I did, and it's really cute. And anyway, so these are great products. Everything will have a crystal, something related to a crystal in my products. So that's hence the name.
Yes.
That's one of my ways of trying to get out, because I sell in Canada and Mexico and the United States for right now. And this was a way that I can help the collective open up to spirituality, open up to the things that we're talking about with the crystals. So anyways, guys, so I appreciate all the support. And Kelly, thank you so much for having both of us on your channel, and definitely me. And of course, I'm going to be probably doing a couple of lives on the Wisdom channel. I'm still, trying to get it right where I kind of want it to be, but I do like to pick a cards, and I've been doing a lot more, not just relationships, but spirituality and stuff like that. So I may definitely, when I get to that point, I'm going to have you on, I'm going to have you there, girl. So you have to be on that channel. And of course, when we do things with the Soul Sisters, because we're kind of changing up a little bit with that too. And so definitely would love to have you back on that too. So.
That would be lovely. I think that's where I met Michael, actually, was when Sonia was away and you had asked me to come on, and Michael was there.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You're my soul sister.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
No problem.
And that was like, what, Kelly, how long ago was that? Like a year and a half?
That was a year ago, yeah.
About a year and a half ago, right?
So we're due. Wow. We're due for another collab, is what I'm
saying.
So thank you so
Kelly,
much.
One last thing.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Of course, love.
Happy birthday, Ron. He has a birthday coming up on Monday.
Happy birthday, Ron.
I was literally just going to say, so coming up, don't forget, of course, thumbs up are greatly appreciated. Comment under the video. I have a post on the community tab where I'm asking you all to share with me, if you don't mind, what matters to your heart. I want to know. Because I think just like here tonight, sharing with each other helps another person, right? Yeah. And so I encourage you, if you don't mind sharing, to go to the community tab on Dozen Cats and share with us what matters to your heart. We have lots of awesome things happening this month. Really quickly, tomorrow night, Autumn Banana joins me at 8 p.m. Eastern for Groundhog Day readings, which is basically like, a shadow reading. Yeah. But with some love mixed in there. On Friday, we have Susie Gemini joining us at 8 p.m. Eastern for some full moon astrology and some astrological / tarot readings. Sunday, we have Jody Roberts joining us, and she is a shamanic healer, and she will be doing a mini demonstration. She has 10 gongs, singing bowls. It's going to be phenomenal. do tune in for that. And I will be on Ron's birthday party, which is on Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And next Friday, I'm going on to Sonia's channel, which is Sonia Rain Lee, for her oracles and coffee and oracles at 11 Eastern. So I hope you wrote all that down. No, I'm just.
All right. Well, thank you, Kelly. Thank you,
Kelly.
everybody that,
Love you guys.
showed up. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Blessings, everybody.
Bye-bye.